skydiving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Hi, typing. Typing. So it says on WhatsApp, it says typing ... Right? Actually, I think it's 4 dots. I think it's 4 dots. Good to see you. I have to admit, I got things that it's not a thing that I have to do, but I had a gap in my schedule here, and so to eat up some time before the 5 o'clock meeting, because sometimes if I have too much time on my hands and not anything that I can really get done in that time or want to get done, the enthusiasm for it, I get bored and then I get tired, and I don't want to be. So, yeah, it's head shaving day, but that doesn't eat up much time. It takes me like 5 minutes to shave my head. Even when I have a full head of hair, it doesn't take me very long. So, yeah, got my shaving chair right there. Here's my razor. Where is it? It was in here. There it is. There it is. What I use. Yep. So we are going to be in the big book. There is a solution I thought would be been a while since I did anything in the front of the book. So and I'm like, we do how it works, but I just did kind of something on how it works the other day. In fact, I've got so many videos, and I'm sure like 3% of them are how it works. a lot of repetition, but it's a lot of days to be going live and come up with a topic each time, and I try to keep it fresh. Fresh is so fresh, exciting. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. Sometimes I sing, sometimes I dance, but mostly I run my mouth. My name is Dion. If you're here, please say hello. I've been pretty entertaining the last couple of days. Yeah, if you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. I've really enjoyed going over to this. For a while, my thought process was on how do we get changes? Well, we need to shut this down. We need to get this. We need to take care of that. Now I'm I'm working on promoting some places. Trudging Together, I will not promote. I've got to let my friends promote Trudging Together. I've got to let the professionals and other people do that. When we promote ourselves, it just doesn't seem to work, at least for me. Then I just feel like I'm bragging about myself, and I would rather let my actions show what I'm going to do rather than my words. So let's get started. Let's get going. Right. I've also kind of been doing this at noon because, yeah. Anyway, chapter 2, there is a solution. Now, we are on page 17, but this is really where the big book starts. Most of it before the doctor's opinion, everything else was kind of information, great information, but this is really where it starts. It's going to start on step 1 here. So actually a little bit of steps before the steps. But the reason I'm saying that is the first word is we. So the beginning of the big book is really on page 17, and it starts with we. Okay. If we want to get down to it, the preface starts with this, okay? But even in that, if we go to the forward of the first edition, the first word is we. And why is it we? Because we do this together, okay? Doing this alone sucks. It does. Not only that, but I was pretty naive to a lot of this. I could read the book. I read the book. In fact, I'm working with Sponsee right now, and I'm like, okay, how's the fourth step go? Well, I'm a little confused about this resentment part. It says on page 65 and this, and I'm not really a resent person, and I get all that. But the thing is that is not the direction I gave him. I'm like, I can tell you read ahead by what you're saying, but you're not there yet. And that's why you don't understand it, because we got to do the other stuff first, right? Right. Yeah. We of Alcoholics Anonymous know thousands of men and women who are just as hopeless as Bill. I'm one of them. Nearly all have recovered. They have solved the drink problem. I am a recovered alcoholic. Okay? Now, I don't announce myself that way in a meeting. It seems to create contention and set me apart. But I am a recovered alcoholic. It just means I've completed the work. Okay? And I have solved my drink problem. Yes, I have. I sure have. That's great. Hey, Ingrid. Yay, double down in with Dion today. Good to see you. We are average Americans and unaverage Americans, right? Some of us are unaverage. All sections of this country and many of its occupations are represented, as well as many political, economic, social, and religious backgrounds. We are people who normally would not mix. I wouldn't have drank with a one of you. Not because you are who you are, but because I'm an alcoholic. Yeah. We wouldn't. Okay. I guess you can't really hear me when I'm like, okay, well, come on back. Oh, right. But even if the alcohol was taken away, let's say the alcohol. Now, some of us listen to rock and roll. Some of us listen to country. Some of us listen to EDM. Some of us listen to, different types of music. All the occupations are represented here, and it doesn't matter what the occupation is. There's drinking heavily involved in it. Everybody, our industry has a lot of drinking. That's every industry including the recovery industry. Yeah, I don't know how many times I was at detoxing from alcohol, and I'd be listening to the staff talking about where they were going after work to go have a drink because they needed it after they had dealt with us. You'd think they'd learn their lesson. You'd think after having to smell that all day, some of us listen to all of it. Sorry, didn't mean to be closed-minded. I prefer my rock and roll. That's what I prefer. But yeah, I listen to a smidgen of a lot of stuff. Absolutely. All right. We have Christians, we have atheists, we have Catholics, we have agnostics, we have Jews. Buddha is not a religion. It's a way of life, just like this. Okay? It's an add-on to whatever religion or spirit. It's more spiritual than it is religious, right? Absolutely. Absolutely, Ingrid. Sometimes talking to another person, even if the person doesn't kind of give the right answer, it can get you towards a place to where you do get them. Absolutely. But if we say nothing, then we'll never get to an answer. Hey, Michelle, it's good to see you. Good to see you. Yay, we're all here. Walk like an Egyptian. And I wonder why I have neck problems. We are people who would not normally mix, but there exists among us a fellowship, a friendliness, and an understanding, which is indescribably wonderful. Yeah, it's hard to explain, the feelings that we get from actually get from belonging. Hey, well, hey Shane, I got up this morning and I had like 20, yeah, I had 20 plus notifications. They were all Shane. Thank you, brother. I appreciate the love. It just, it kind of, it threw me off. Check this out. I kind of got it. You guys are all here, so, and gals, I apologize. So it happened on my Podbean also. And this is just, it's weird. Okay, so this is what I see when I open up my Podbean. But yesterday I had 60 downloads, right? And that made me curious. So yesterday I had 60. So if I go to statistics and I scroll down, look where they came from: United States, South Korea, Russia, Israel, Brazil, Japan, Australia, Spain, Canada, Switzerland, Denmark, Egypt. This was all yesterday. United Kingdom, Jamaica, and Seychelles. And I doubt I'm even saying that right. And I think what happened, and it all came, most of it came from iVox. Never even heard of it. Okay, I don't know who it was or whatever, but I have a feeling they were traveling. I have a feeling that they were traveling. So I think that's why that happened. But it's just it's neat to see somebody in Finland's listening to me, in South Korea. It's kind of neat, man. So yeah, that's as far as I go for showing off and bragging, but it's just nice. But I have a feeling somebody was in a plane, kind of listening. Maybe they fell asleep. And because it's on auto, do the next one. Anyway, hi Patricia, good to see you. We are like the passengers of a great liner the moment after rescue from shipwreck, when camaraderie, joyousness, and democracy pervade the vessel from steerage to captain table. Unlike the feelings of the ship's passenger, however, our joy and escape from disaster does not subside as we go our individual ways. And that's what's important. That's the important part, right? Uh, the feeling of having shared a common peril is one element in the powerful cement which binds us, but that in and of itself would never held us together as we are now joined. Okay, right? So when I was in treatment, I went to this place called Outward Bound. I don't know if anybody's heard of Outward Bound, but you go up to the mountains for 5 days and you hang out with like 10 other people, right? And you get to know each other. You do trust falls, you do the rope course. One night you spend by yourself, and you get to know these people very, very well because you go through hard things together, right? I couldn't even tell you one name of one person that was there because as we left, sure, the joy of doing it lasted for a couple of days, but after that, it subsided. It went away. Okay. Because there wasn't really that common peril that continued going on. The difference is I still have alcoholism, and there's something that I need to do about it every single day. Right. And that's where we come in, being accountable. Well, if I'm going to be really accountable, then I need to let other people get to know me. It's the only way to really become truly accountable. And I found that accountability is the number one way to keep someone sober. The tremendous fact for every one of us, common solution. We have a way out on which we can absolutely agree and upon which we can join in brotherly and harmonious action. This is the great news the book carries to those who suffer from alcoholism. Yeah, that you don't have to be alone anymore. No. But here's the true miracle of it, and they don't really talk about it in the big book. And I'm glad that they don't. Okay. So Bill W. did not write the big book. He may have written the outline or the beginning, but it was redlined okay. 100 people wrote the big book. The first 100 men and women that went through the program wrote the big book. That is the miracle of it, that 100 alcoholics could come to a common solution. Now, if it was written by Bill, just Bill, I don't think it would have made it. It's kind of a dick. What? What? kind of, otherwise we'd be, the only requirement for membership would be an honest desire to stop drinking, right? And we tend to look that on that inside, but it's the outside. Oh, is that person being honest? Okay. It wasn't the fact that that word honest would keep people out. What it would do is kick people out for not qualifying. That's why it was taken out. My belief, my opinion on that one. An illness of this sort, and we have come to believe in an illness, involves those about us in a way no other human sickness can. If a person has cancer, all are sorry for him. No one is angry or hurt, but not so with the alcoholic illness. For with it there goes the annihilation of all things worthwhile in life. It's true. It'll take everything worthwhile in this life, and it'll just leave you with the bad stuff. And I don't want to say bad people, because maybe they have a spiritual illness also, like we did. I was just talking to somebody, because they're finishing some classes and stuff, and they talked about the ripple effect, right? And for an alcoholic, okay. Now remember, we're not ordinary people. We're kind of extraordinary, and that includes the effect that we have on the people around us. We tend to be a little bit more bigger than life. I don't think you're going to disagree with that. Tend to be. I didn't say are. Okay. So that means our ripples have more effect. Bad or good is up to you, right? Do I want to put out those effects? And that's what we're talking about here is the ripple effect, right? So I get angry in the house, and then my children get angry at other people outside the house, and then it moves forward. Okay. But if I'm a good example at home, then my children go out and they're good examples out there. And that too has a ripple effect. Okay. When I go to the store, if I have to purchase something and I go somewhere and somebody helps me out, I thank them for being there. And I mean it, or I wouldn't have been able to get what it is that I need. When I picked up my meds yesterday, I tell the lady was kind of having a bad day. People are probably yelling at her about scripts, and she has no power over that crap. Don't take it out on the messenger, man. Never take it out on the messenger. Okay. But I could feel there was some pain. And so, I asked her a question. I'm like, now, do you sell the cups? Things like, and she gave me some suggestions. She's like, you should probably go online. I'm like, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And we're all done. And when I was leaving, I looked her straight in the eye and I said, I really appreciate you being here so I could get my meds. I appreciate that. Good to see you, Shane. I love you, brother. Keep in touch, man. You and I ain't done doing stuff together. I know that. I'm just waiting for the day. Love you, dude. All right. It engulfs all those who lives touch the sufferer. It brings misunderstanding, fierce resentment, financial insecurity, disgusted friends and employers, warped lives of blameless children, sad wives of parents. Anyone can increase the list. I know why those people stick with us. Because they see something in us that we cannot see yet. They see a deep-rooted goodness and a morality that they know is there. Yeah. And I know it's true because now you're that person. You're that person now. These people that have been in our lives, like my wife, my mom, those are a couple people I can name off the top of my head. If they wouldn't have done what they did, I wouldn't be here. I would not be here. If it wasn't for the patience, tolerance, kindliness, and love of my significant other, my kids, and some of my family, I wouldn't be here. I would have killed myself. Yes. Right? We hope this volume will inform and comfort those who are or may be affected. There are many. 1 in 10. Your neighbor's probably alcoholic. May not know. I don't know. I've met my neighbors. We kind of, I don't know their names. I don't see them on a regular basis, but I know when their dog is out, I know where to take it and stuff, right? Anyway, highly competent psychiatrists who have dealt with this have found it sometimes impossible to persuade an alcoholic to discuss his situation without reserve. Strangely enough, wives, parents, intimate friends usually find us even more unapproachable than do the psychiatrist or the doctor. Right? Now, it's kind of tough because these people that love us have been telling us the same thing that these alcoholics, the next paragraph, that these alcoholics are gonna say to us. Okay. It's one of the hard parts. Often my wife said, I told you that before. I'm like, I know, I know. I don't know why I wasn't willing to listen to you on that, but you were correct. You were. Okay. I do kind of know why, because she wanted something from me. And that expectation just gave me another excuse. Okay. Doesn't mean it's on her. Okay. Well, yeah, what's the catch, Doc? What do you want? You just want my money, dude. You just want more fucking whatever. See that denial that automatically seeps in, right? But the ex-problem drinker who has found the solution, who is properly armed with facts about himself, can generally win the entire confidence of another alcoholic in a few hours. Until such an understanding is reached, little or nothing can be accomplished. Right? In other words, is the alcoholic or the person that we are working with, are they at a place where they are no longer willing to accept the consequences of their actions and their behavior when it comes to drinking? And it may vary. It may vary. Some people get into this program young, and good job, man. I'm very proud of young people in the program. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, well, I spilt more than you ever drank or anything. No, that's not what makes us equal. Not only that, but when I got sober the first time, people would tell me that. I just wanted to punch them. You know, it's not, and I would tell them, it's not my fault nor my problem that you waited till later in life to quit drinking. So I don't want to hear it. My mom taught me how to answer that question. That the man who's making the approach has had the same difficulty, and that's where it really lies. Oh, you went through it too. Well, now I don't feel so lonely. Now I don't feel so terminally unique in this big, big world of people that misunderstand me. Right? I call AA. AA is where bullshit and loneliness dies, because you can't bullshit in AA. You might be able for a little bit and get away with it, but somebody in that meeting knows you're lying. I can tell you that. If you're lying in a meeting, someone in that meeting knows. They do. Right? Maybe they don't know, but they got an inkling that maybe you're just not being as honest as you could be. Right? Well, if they're new, let's give them this, because we go back to that honest desire to stop drinking. So let's go to as honest as they can be at the time, which may not be much. The fact that they're even saying I'm Dion and I'm an alcoholic may be too much at the time for them. They need to say it a couple of times. It was weird the first time I said it. His whole department shouts to the new prospect that he is a man with a real answer, that he has no attitude of holier than thou, nothing whatever except a sincere desire to be helpful, that there are no fees to pay, no axes to grind, no people to please, no lectures to be endured. These are the conditions that we have found most effective. After such an approach, many take up their beds and walk again. And it's actually that right there as to why I'm supporting some of the places I'm supporting, because they don't do this, right? If you get a scholarship, because a lot of scholarships in Colorado if you get a scholarship, you're required to follow their path. You're required to have their recovery coach, their stuff. And in this place, they don't do that. They give you a scholarship and then they're like, okay, this is how we're gonna do it. East Metro Detox, right? If you've gone past your 3 days and you need a couple more days, you know what they do? They find an excuse to put in your chart as to why you need to stay for a few more days, and then they worry about the money. That's why I like them. Right? No, people don't know they are not making you jump through. Nobody should have to jump through a hoop to get help for their mental illness ever at any given time. Mm-mm. All right. None of us makes a sole vocation of this work. I do. No, not a sole vocation. I think it kind of is. I may need to look at that. A sole vocation would mean I do it for work, and it's all I do for work. Okay. Now, when I was a counselor, when I was a recovery coach, when I was a peer support specialist, right? Okay. If I didn't I had one of the things I had to have sponsees before clients. No. Yeah. Running a sober living home does not make up for going to AA. No, it does not. Right? Being a counselor does not make up because if you're a counselor, no, there will be a fee to pay. See? All right. So the sole vocation would mean that you're even charging people for 12-step work. That's kind of what that means. Nor do we think its effectiveness would be increased if we did. We feel that elimination of our drinking is but a beginning. A much more important demonstration of our principles lies before us in our respective homes, occupations, and affairs. Yeah. Now, what do we say at the very beginning? Right? That there's all kinds of us. That it's occupations, political, economic, social, and religious backgrounds are all represented here. Right? So therefore, when we go out, well, I've worked with some guys who are kind of higher up in companies and stuff. And what they do is they get to be the person that the employees can go to get help. Is that cool? And they get to be that person instead. So in whatever work you're doing or whatever you're doing, these are the things that we get to do. All of us spend much of our spare time in the sort of effort which we are going to describe. A few are fortunate enough to be so situated they can give nearly all of their time to the work. Bye, Ingrid. Love you. Yeah, I'm going to wrap this up here soon. So it was good to see you. I'm fortunate enough that I get to do that. I am. If we keep on the way we are going, there is little doubt that much good will result, but the surface of the problem would hardly be scratched. Those of us who live in large cities are overcome by the reflection that close by, hundreds are dropping into oblivion every day. Many could recover if they had the opportunity we enjoyed. How then shall we present that which has been so freely given to us? I'm only going to do a couple more here. Now, that's changed. It used to be 1 in 10 families or 1 in 10 people were affected by alcohol or addiction. Now, everyone is. Because of the opiate and fentanyl crisis, now every single person is affected by this illness. Maybe not the alcoholic illness, but by the addiction illness. Well, we have a solution. We do. But Dion, you say that addicts shouldn't really be in AA. No, send them an NA. You can do that. You're capable of doing that. And if it's an open meeting, it's an open meeting. I prefer not because I don't know how much I can help you. I hope I can. Okay. But when I say that, I have actual concern for that person, not me. Right? So, if we keep on the way, there's a little bit of party scratched. We have concluded to publish an anonymous volume setting forth the problem as we see it. We shall bring to task our combined experience and knowledge. This should suggest a useful program for anyone concerned with a drinking problem. There again, 100 people is the we here, right? 100 recovered alcoholics who have solved the drink problem. Of necessity, there will have to be discussion of matters medical, psychiatric, social, and religious. We are aware that these matters are, from their very nature, controversial. That's why it needs to stay in the book. We do not talk about it. So, medical, psychiatric, social, and religious. I would say, out of all the things that I do here come up, would be medical. Okay. Now, they are going to talk about that, but we also need to remember that none of us are doctors, psychiatrics, social workers, or pastors. At least most of us aren't, right? Yeah. Here again, it's going to be a common ground on which we need to land. And that is staying sober and helping other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. See, when we come together on a common solution, those four things just don't carry much more weight, do they? Right? When you see a little kid begging to have one of their parents back, it's not what comes into mind, is it? No, it's what can we do to help this person so that they get their parent back. What can we do? Nothing would please us so much as to write a book which would contain no basis for contention or argument. That'd be hard to do with such strong opinions. You hear it all the time, not in AA meetings, but I see online all the time how people will cut down AA. Okay. I used to get real defensive about that. And I am more. You know, what I'm hearing is maybe we need to look for another way for you then. Or maybe it comes down to you didn't want to do the work. Right? I had a friend reach out to me a few days ago saying, this person's in trouble, but it's something that continues to happen. And I wrote back on I am more than happy to help, but I want you to know that one part of the discussion may be, why do you keep failing at these places? Because it can't continue to be these places. Right? I'm sorry, but when it adds up, huh? Yeah. That's just an alcoholic joke. And it's funny. And you can just do the ha ha ha. I know you're joking. But I always have to do the JK, yeah, because like we're talking, I'm just kidding, right? Because you're still, more for me. Oh, I'm just kidding. So, okay. Sometimes I have to say things out loud to hear it, right? Most of us sense that real tolerance of other people's shortcomings and viewpoints and a respect for their opinions are attitudes which make us more useful to others. Our very lives as ex-problem drinkers depend upon our constant thought of others and how we may meet their needs. All right, two more paragraphs. Because then we're going to get into the page 21 drunk, and that's a different topic. Not really. Right? All we've been talking about is first step. Right? You may have already asked yourself, why is that all of us became so very ill from drinking? Doubtless you are curious to discover how and why, in the face of expert opinion to the contrary, we have recovered from a hopeless condition of mind and body. And that's the definition of recovered. Okay? That I've gotten over the hopeless condition of mind and body. I'm no longer insane. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. See, I don't only just listen to rock and roll. That's not rock and roll. That's like New Age. I think, I don't know. Great song though. Fun one to dance to. If you are an alcoholic who wants to get over it, you may already be asking, what do I have to do? It is the purpose of this book to answer such questions specifically. We shall tell you how we have done what we have done before going into detailed discussion. It may be well to summarize some of the points that we have seen. So, but we're going to end there. So I'll have to keep you in suspense. Yeah, because you don't know what it says next. Or have your own big book or sponsor or anything else, right? All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. Keep in mind, we got a meeting in an hour and 15 minutes. Everyone is welcome. If you need a reminder or if you need the link, please send me a private message. Oh, nice, Michelle. You're right on those pages too, huh? All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And